The lawyer's office was adorned with polished mahogany furniture, casting a veneer of formality over the somber affair. My mother sat between Abigail and me, her weary eyes betraying the weight of recent events. The lawyer, a composed man in his 50s with a measured tone, began to unfurl the contents of my late father's will. Each word felt like a hammer blow to our already fragile familial ties. As per the terms of the will, the lawyer started, his eyes scanning the document in front of him. The estate includes the house, the surrounding land, and a sum of $100,000 in savings. Abigail's sharp inhale pierced the air, her gaze fixed on the mention of the savings. "That's a considerable sum," she murmured, eyes glinting with avarice. My mother's hand tightened around mine, a silent plea for restraint. She knew as well as I did that the true revelation lay just around the corner. And finally, the lawyer continued, "The storage shed adjoining the property is bequeathed to Charlotte." Abigail's disdain was palpable as she shot me a glance, her disappointment evident. "A storage shed, that's it?" I swallowed the sting of disappointment, but held my ground, meeting her gaze evenly. "It's what Dad decided," I said softly, trying to keep the conflict at bay. My mother interjected, her voice trembling slightly, "Girls, this is your father's wish. We need to respect that." But Abigail, never one to shy away from confrontation, leaned forward. "How can he leave such an insignificant thing to Charlotte? There has to be more to this." The lawyer, unruffled by the brewing tension, raised a calming hand. "Please, let me finish." He adjusted his spectacles before concluding, "There might be more to the shed than initially apparent. There are specifics I'd like to discuss regarding the inheritance and the shed itself." His cryptic words hung in the air, stirring a mixture of curiosity and unease. It was evident that the shed held secrets yet to be unveiled, and the impending revelations promised to alter our understanding of the inheritance, and perhaps our fractured relationship, as we knew it. The aftermath of the lawyer's revelations hung thick in the air, a tense atmosphere laden with unspoken words and unbridled emotions. My sister Abigail wasted no time in asserting her claim over the cash inheritance, her eyes glinting with avarice. "I'll take the cash," Abigail declared with a tone that brooked no argument. Her gaze flickered to the lawyer, silently urging him to expedite the proceedings. The lawyer, accustomed to family disputes over inheritances, maintained his composure. "That can be arranged, Miss Abigail," he replied, his voice a steady cadence amidst the brewing storm. Meanwhile, I sat quietly, grappling with the peculiar gift of the shabby storage shed. It felt like a meager offering compared to the perceived wealth Abigail was about to acquire. Yet, a faint curiosity tugged at me, an inkling that there might be more to this inheritance than met the eye. As the lawyer confirmed Abigail's claim to the cash, I hesitated before speaking up. "Excuse me, may I inquire about the shed?" Abigail scoffed, a condescending smirk playing on her lips. "Oh, that dusty old thing. What more could it possibly hold?" But the lawyer, ever professional, replied, "The shed's significance might exceed its appearance. There might be specific instructions or additional items pertaining to it." My mother, her voice soft but laden with concern, intervened. "Abigail, dear, perhaps we should hear more about the shed before making any hasty decisions." I nodded in agreement, hoping to unravel the mystery veiled within the seemingly insignificant shed. The lawyer paused, glancing between us before continuing. "There might be details about the shed that require exploration. Miss Charlotte, your father's will specified this legacy for a reason. It might hold more value than initially presumed." Abigail rolled her eyes, visibly impatient. "This is absurd. If there's nothing of worth there, why waste our time?" But a quiet determination gripped me. "I'd like to inspect the shed, if that's permissible," I insisted, a faint glimmer of hope igniting within me. The lawyer nodded. "Of course, Miss Charlotte. Your father's will stipulates this, and your curiosity is well-founded. There might indeed be more to this inheritance than what meets the eye. With a lingering sense of anticipation and a resolve to uncover the shed's secrets, I prepared to venture into the unassuming structure, bracing myself for what revelations it might hold. A sense of anticipation tingled in the air as I approached the weathered storage shed, its aged wood creaking faintly in the breeze. The lawyer's words echoed in my mind, hinting at hidden depths within the unassuming structure. The rusted padlock yielded reluctantly to the key, and the door groaned open, revealing a musty interior adorned with cobwebs. My breath caught as my gaze fell upon the inconspicuous wall. It bore an unexpected secret, a hidden door, obscured by years of neglect. Carefully, I pushed against the panel, and it yielded with a hesitant creak, revealing a dim space beyond. The air felt heavy with anticipation as I stepped into the hidden compartment, my heart pounding with a mix of trepidation and excitement. The narrow space within was dimly lit by a single shaft of sunlight filtering through a crack in the wall. Dust motes danced in the air, casting a mystical aura over the abandoned corner. And there, nestled within the forgotten recess, stood a forgotten, heavy, metal safe. My pulse quickened at the sight. The safe bore the patina of neglect, a silent witness to years of obscurity. It held the promise of untold revelations, perhaps the key to deciphering the true legacy my father had left behind. Gingerly, I approached the safe, my fingers tracing its worn edges before grappling with the stubborn handle. With a heave, the door swung open, revealing a trove of gleaming watches resting within. The timepieces glimmered in the dim light, an unexpected treasure within the abandoned shed. Each watch held a story, some elegant, others rugged, but all undoubtedly valuable. The lawyer's words echoed in my mind, urging me to tread carefully, to consider the implications of this newfound treasure. My heart raced with a mixture of disbelief and exhilaration. Could these watches hold the key to unraveling the true extent of my father's legacy? In that moment of discovery, a whirlwind of emotions enveloped me, surprise, awe, and a twinge of sadness, knowing that these treasures had languished unnoticed for far too long. Excitedly, I reached for my phone, the screen illuminated as I snapped pictures of the watches, each click preserving the tangible evidence of this unexpected revelation. And amidst the flickering shadows and gleaming timepieces, I couldn't help but wonder, what other secrets lay buried within this forgotten enclave, waiting to be unearthed? The discovery of the valuable watches within the hidden safe stirred a whirlwind of emotions and consequences, both anticipated and unforeseen. The gleaming timepieces, once shrouded in neglect, now sat as a testament to an unexpected wealth concealed within the forgotten shed. Armed with photographic evidence, I navigated the complexities of legalities and implications, consulting with the lawyer to understand the true worth and implications of these treasures. In the midst of my pursuit for clarity, tensions escalated with Abigail, whose focus remained resolutely fixed on immediate monetary gain. Her impatience grew palpable, and our disagreements regarding the watches and the inheritance reached a fever pitch. "I don't understand why you're making such a fuss about old watches," Abigail scoffed, her impatience evident in the sharpness of her tone. "They're not just old watches, Abigail," I retorted, struggling to maintain composure amidst the escalating conflict. "They hold value, significant value. Dad's legacy is more than what meets the eye." The lawyer, a voice of reason in the midst of our discord, interjected, "Miss Charlotte is right. These timepieces might hold substantial worth. It's crucial to assess their value thoroughly before any decisions are made." Abigail's frustration simmered beneath the surface. "Fine, evaluate them if you must, but I'll take the cash. That's what matters to me," she declared, dismissing the significance of our father's legacy. As the evaluation of the watches commenced, a stark realization dawned. Their collective worth surpassed initial estimations. The lawyer's assessment revealed a substantial value, far exceeding what anyone had anticipated. In the face of this newfound wealth, Abigail's impatience swelled into frustration, a stark contrast to my growing sense of responsibility toward preserving our father's legacy. "These watches could change everything, Abigail," I urged, hoping to convey the gravity of the situation. "They might alter our understanding of Dad's intentions." But Abigail's determination remained unyielding. "I want what's mine, and that's the cash. I won't wait around for your sentimental attachments." As the tension between us reached an impasse, it became clear that our perspectives on inheritance and our father's legacy stood in stark contrast, a divide that seemed insurmountable, amplifying the strain on our already fractured relationship. Amidst the evaluation of the watches and the escalating discord over the inheritance, the consequences of Abigail's impulsive decision to claim the cash inheritance began to unravel. The lawyer's assessment of the watch's value revealed a staggering sum, far exceeding initial estimations. It was evident that these timepieces held substantial monetary worth, a fortune that dwarfed the initial $100,000 inheritance. As the gravity of the situation unfolded, Abigail's impatience turned to unease. The realization that she'd hastily dismissed the watches in pursuit of immediate cash now weighed heavily on her. "The watches are worth how much?" Abigail's voice wavered, a hint of disbelief mingling with anxiety. Her gaze darted between me and the lawyer, seeking affirmation that the valuation was accurate. The lawyer nodded gravely. "The evaluation indicates a substantial value. It's imperative to consider the implications of the full inheritance before making any decisions." Abigail's facade of indifference began to crumble, replaced by a growing sense of remorse and uncertainty. I didn't expect this. I thought the cash would be enough," she admitted, her voice laden with regret. Meanwhile, the realization of the watch's true worth brought a new perspective to our discussions. The lawyer emphasized the need for deliberation and caution, given the implications of the inherited wealth. "We need to consider the tax implications, the division of assets, and the ramifications of these valuable items," the lawyer explained, trying to navigate the intricate legal terrain that now loomed over us. Abigail's anxiety mounted as she grappled with the unforeseen complexities of the situation. "What do we do now?" she asked, a trace of desperation seeping into her voice. "We need to proceed carefully," I replied, my tone measured but firm. "There's more at stake here than mere monetary gain. Dad's legacy deserves respect and thoughtful consideration." As the weight of the situation settled upon us, it became apparent that Abigail's impulsive pursuit of immediate cash had unwittingly plunged her into a web of complexities and consequences she had not anticipated. The watches, once dismissed, now held the power to reshape our understanding of our father's legacy and the implications for our future. Amidst the tumult of evaluating the watches and grappling with the implications of the inheritance, an unexpected revelation breathed new purpose into my life, a revelation that would reshape my priorities and plans for the future. The lawyer's meticulous guidance shed light on the intricacies of the inheritance and the necessity for careful consideration. As the discussions continued, an unexpected twist emerged, altering my trajectory and reshaping my priorities. "Excuse me, may I have a moment?" I interjected, my voice tinged with a newfound sense of determination. The room fell silent as all eyes turned toward me. "I've made a decision," I announced, my heart racing with both trepidation and excitement. "I've realized that my priorities have shifted. I'm moving back home." My declaration hung in the air, a moment of profound decision that would redefine my path forward. My mother, her eyes shining with a mix of surprise and joy, grasped my hand in silent support. "Charlotte, dear, are you certain?" she inquired, a mixture of concern and hope evident in her voice. I nodded, a sense of purpose guiding my words. "Yes, Mom. It's time for a new beginning. I want to return home, especially now with—" I trailed off, a smile tugging at my lips, with the baby on the way. The revelation of my pregnancy altered the dynamic of the room, infusing it with a renewed sense of warmth and anticipation. Abigail, momentarily taken aback, softened her demeanor. "A baby," she exclaimed, a glimmer of surprise in her eyes. "Congratulations, Charlotte." The lawyer, accustomed to the complexities of familial affairs, offered a nod of understanding. "Family often shapes our decisions. It's a commendable choice, Miss Charlotte." As the implications of my decision settled in, a sense of peace washed over me, a conviction that returning home would provide the support and solace needed, not only for myself, but for the new chapter unfolding with the impending arrival of my child. "It feels right," I murmured, my gaze drifting to the window, a vision of home and family flickering in my mind's eye. With a sense of resolution, I made preparations to embark on this new journey, a journey that promised not just a return home, but a fresh start, rooted in family and the anticipation of a new life. Returning home carried with it a sense of both apprehension and relief. The familiar surroundings embraced me, bringing a semblance of peace amidst the tumultuous events surrounding our father's inheritance. As I settled back into the comforting embrace of home, a process of healing and reconciliation began to unfold, a fragile yet hopeful path towards mending fractured relationships. Abigail, humbled by the complexities and implications of the inheritance, approached me tentatively, a hint of contrition in her gaze. "Charlotte, I've been reflecting," she started, her voice tinged with vulnerability. "I'm sorry for dismissing the significance of Dad's legacy. I didn't realize." Her words faltered, but the sincerity in her eyes spoke volumes. It was a rare moment of humility from Abigail, one that offered a glimmer of hope for our strained relationship. I met her gaze, acknowledging her unspoken sentiments. "It's all right, Abigail," I responded, a flicker of understanding softening my tone. We were both navigating through difficult times. Our mother, a beacon of wisdom and understanding, joined the conversation. "This inheritance has been a catalyst for change, hasn't it?" she mused, her gaze shifting between us. "It has," I admitted, a sense of relief washing over me at the prospect of potential reconciliation. The lawyer's voice, a steady presence in our deliberations, interjected, "Inheritance often carries emotional weight beyond its monetary value. It's a reflection of legacies and family ties." Abigail nodded in agreement, a newfound understanding dawning upon her. "Yes, I see that now. I've been too focused on the monetary aspect," she confessed, her expression reflecting a growing sense of introspection. As we navigated through discussions and reflections, a tentative peace settled between Abigail and me. It was a fragile truce, but a significant step toward healing the rift that had strained our sisterly bond. The lawyer, sensing the shift in dynamics, offered a reassuring nod. "This seems like a step in the right direction, Miss Charlotte, Miss Abigail. Family is often more valuable than any inheritance." And in that moment, amidst the tangled web of emotions and the complexities of inheritance, there was a glimmer of hope, a resolution to set aside differences, an understanding that family bonds transcended material wealth. As we reflected upon our father's legacy and the lessons learned, a tentative yet promising path towards reconciliation and understanding stretched before us, a testament to the enduring resilience of family ties and the potential for healing and growth, even in the wake of adversity.